What's up, guys? I'm gonna give you guys a tour of my homemade 8-gallon a minute pressure and soft wash trailer. So actually, let's start on the other side. Alright, so we got this hose reel, which I'm gonna get a better one and get some better hose. This is just kind of piece this together on the fly. This is what'll go to my customer's water. It'll flow through this filter first, which I got on Amazon for, I want to say it was like 40 bucks. I don't even remember the brand, to be honest, but I can back flush it. I can change the filter. It did come with one extra filter. I got the Banjo Quick Connect, so I can just take it right out. But yeah, it goes through this filter, and then I just left myself a little extra feed hose, more than I needed here, which I'll explain why in a second. But this right here fills my tank. It's hooked up to a I believe it's Jobe, J-O-B-E valve on the inside. I believe I put this at about 150 gallons. So when the tank gets to 150 gallons, the ball inside lifts, the float rather, and shuts off the water, so the tank never overflows. Now, I did leave the extra hose for if I'm ever in a situation where I did want to completely fill the tank. I could just disconnect the hose here, put it right inside the tank, and let the tank fill to, you know, just sort of bypass the float valve. So this is my soft wash manifold. Now, this thing is, keep in mind, everything's been moved. I started with a smaller trailer. This is my second year. I started with a much smaller trailer this year, and I ended up, I told you, I just did this on the fly. This past couple of weeks, I put this all together. So this is my original soft wash manifold. Now, originally, I had this hooked up to water. This was soap, and this was bleach. I found that the more jobs I did, I just mix my surfactant right into the bleach tank, and eliminates the need for having the third valve. So this was a Toys R Us valve I just bought because it was used for water. It was always open. It wasn't metering anything. But these are the Hayward flow control valves. These are still not the actual, you know, precise metering valve that Hayward makes. I got these from Granger. I think they were, I want to say $50 a piece. That I honestly, or maybe $30 a piece, in that range. And the ones that are actual precise metering valves are, they have them, I believe, up to almost $150. They're actually a black knob, and as opposed to the orange. But anyway, these do the job. I don't use this. I don't meter. I basically, so my bleach is always going to be either 6% right here. This would be half water, half bleach, 6%, like for a roof, or I'd cut it in half, concrete, brick, stucco, shit like that. I don't, anything where I'd have to go any less than that, really, I'll use my 1.8 injector on the machine, and that gives me a pretty hot mix. So I don't really even have a need to. But if you were just only soft washing, and you wanted to be able to get that mix down for like a house, I would recommend going with the valves that are expensive, and they're expensive for a reason. They're meant to do that. These are really not, like, you're fine, it'll give you full and it'll give you half, but if you try to get really precise with it, I've found that it's not, you start running into problems. But anyway, yeah, check valves, ball valve, mixes in the manifold, and take you guys back around now on the other side. So yeah, the manifold where we just were comes to my 12-volt pump, and I'm actually just gotta order some fittings and stuff just to, I'm not gonna be running anything through my reels. I'll store the hose on the reel like I have here, and then when I get to a job, I pull out what I need, and you know, I'll hook it up to here. So like I said, I gotta order some fittings. I have the hose in the reel, it's still on my other trailer. But yeah, so that's the bleach tank. I got the Uniseal fittings. I got extension cords laying around. I just have to buy some stuff to hang it with. This tank, when I got it, it already had this hole in it. I got some flex tape. I'm just gonna cover it up with. I don't really have a need. I figured it was nice to have there when I was plumbing everything to be able to get in there, and it was, I washed it out and everything, so it ended up helping. Like I said, some flex tape. I don't really see that being a problem. I just don't want it open. I don't want anything getting in there. That's kind of the whole point of the filter. But yeah, so this here, now we'll get into my pressure washer unit. This is the feed for the pressure washer. This is just goes to a bulkhead fitting on the outside of the trailer for a drain. That's why I have this valve here. If I wanted to kill it there, I can kill it. Then it goes through the banjo Y strainer, which when I seal off the top of the tank, and then I stop anything from ever getting inside of the tank again, the water will be filtered when it goes into the tank and before it gets to my machine. So it's an added layer of protection. So it goes from the filter to the inlet. It's 1-inch spa hose, basically. I think it was Hydromax, I believe the brand name. Yeah, the pump is an AR. I got this all from Manatee Pressure Washing Supply, I believe, out of New Jersey. So I built this machine myself with their I bought the motor at Harbor Freight. I had some coupons and whatnot. Predator 670. I know it's a Predator, but it's guaranteed for 2 years, no questions asked. I paid an extra $200 for that. So basically, in an ideal world, at 1 year and 11 months, rather, I'll take this back and get a brand new one, is what I'm hoping is how this is going to work. But we'll see. If I have to get a Honda, I'll get a Honda. But so far, I've had no issues with it. Now the gearbox and the pump. The gearbox is made in Italy. I forget the brand name of the gearbox. The pump's an AR XWA Series, 8 gallon a minute, 3,500 PSI. The pump and the gearbox are specifically meant for this Predator 670 motor, which is why I bought it from Manatee. I like that the pump and the gearbox came together. It was an easy add-on. The pump support I also got from them. Very easy to put together, very self-explanatory. Like I said, this is only my second year, and I was able to, I'm somewhat mechanically inclined myself, but nevertheless I was able to figure out how to put it together pretty easily. So yeah, so the inlet, this is the outlet, 3/8, no fitting, just right to the whip. The whip was a little long and I kind of wanted to get going rather than order a shorter one, so I just looped it to my unloader block. Now from the unloader block, it goes into the K7.3 flow actuated unloader. I got the pressure gauge from Granger. I feel like I'm gonna get shit on for shopping at Granger, but honestly, guys, from what I've seen and I look, by the time you pay for shipping and everything like that, I have a Granger about 10 minutes from me, and it's just, I order something and it's there within at most 2 days. And it's generally good quality shit, so I am a fan of Granger, but nevertheless I'm rambling here. So anyway, this pressure gauge, I have it set. I set it with my turbo nozzle. That's really the, that's going to be the highest pressure that I'm going to be using is that turbo nozzle. So I set it for about 2,500 PSI on the turbo nozzle. I feel that that's more than enough. I would imagine when I put the surface cleaner on, I haven't even honestly looked, but I would imagine it's in the same ballpark. When I put my house washing tips on, it's down to about 500 maybe. So, I never touch it. It's, I'm adjusting the pressure at the at the gun rather than here. But from there I come, again, I had whips that were a little long, so that's the only reason. I just was trying to, these loops are nothing but just space savers, and just tried to make it look relatively nice. But from the unloader we come to a valve here that I will open when I start the machine. That valve comes to this whip, which, like I was saying, I don't run anything through my reels. I'll pull out what I need for hose. I'll let the machine run for a couple of minutes, just through here to bleed anything that's in there out of it. And then I'll shut the valve off, hook up my hose, and I have another valve on the end of my line that'll be open, so the water's generally always going through the system. And even when it's not, I have my bypass, runs right back into my tank. So about the bypass, for anybody who's interested in this sort of thing, I found that my pump was surging a lot when it was going into bypass mode. And come to find out, that was because I guess the orifices come in different sizes, and I was not getting enough back pressure to keep a steady flow through my bypass. So I saw a YouTube video actually where I don't even remember who it was. I'd give him a shout out, but I don't know. So he puts together this basically just to slow the rate at which water is going through the bypass, and that resolves the issue, and it actually works out good because it keeps that stuck in there so it can never pop out. So actually, another little interesting fact I've figured as I've been doing this, this is a 1.8 injector. This I bought for my 2.5 gallon a minute machine last year. I have a 2.1 or a 2.3 rather, that's meant for the 8 gallon a minute that I put on at a job today. And I found that I was struggling to pull chemical. And now I had tested the machine out and everything like that, but what I didn't realize was I had never had more than 100 feet of hose on while I was doing my, initial messing around and whatnot. So I was having no problem pulling chemical. Now at today's job, I had 200 feet of pressure hose that I was trying to pull through with the 2.3 injector, and I wasn't getting anything. So I said, you know what? I said, I wonder if this is too much hose now. And I put the 1.8 on, and sure enough, I drew no problem. Now, I did check before I started the job and after the job. Small house, I went through about 5 gallons of bleach, which to me, for a house that size, how I do things is way too much. I feel like I should be using maybe 3 gallons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a Pentair metering valve, and I'm just going to put it in line to be able to adjust the 1.8. I'll set it to maybe half. This way I know I'm able to draw chemical with 200 feet of hose, which is the most that I really will do, and I'm not blowing through too much. Like I mean, it's not the end of the world, but on a large scale, it's what I use today is just too much. So anyway, so from my injector we go up here. Now this is a remote ball valve inside of here. This, I remember, came from All Pro Exterior Services LLC, I believe, YouTube channel. literally, I'm not going to break it down too much. Just watch that video. Just search for All Pro Exterior Services downstream box or something, and it'll come up. There's 2 videos. One video he shows you what you need to do it, and another one he just basically gives you a breakdown of the wiring. But I would strongly recommend, if you have any interest in a remote downstream box, rather than buying one of the ones that cost $600, I would watch that video and get the parts. This was well under $100. I can't open it. I'm not gonna take it all apart, but basically this switch right here, that powers this remote. So when I'm washing and I want bleach, I hit on, and then I'll start drawing bleach. And when I want to rinse, I hit off. That's simple. And that switch just powers that remote. That's all. And then this is the on and off switch for my 12-volt pump. I wanted to keep all the wiring together. So there's a ball valve in there that opens and closes. Obviously, that's what these lines are connected to. I also picked this up. This was another YouTube suggestion. I think it was Pressure Washer's channel. I saw this maybe. Basically, just so your injector doesn't rot out, I have this line going to my bleach tank and this line going to my water tank. So when I get to a job and I'm ready to wash, I just turn that up, turn the box on, put the remote on my neck and do my thing. And then when I get back to the truck, before I shut everything off, just switch it back to rinse. So I'm gonna suck water through my injector to flush all the bleach and everything out, flush the bleach out of the ball valve. And not that this was overly, I think the valve itself was like 30 bucks, but I mean, to me, just why not rinse it out? There's other ways you can do that. You can do it with drop sticks and whatever. I mean, there's a million different, I just, you know, I did it the way I wanted to do it. So, it's a battery charger for my battery that powers my 12 volt. The switch that I was just showing you was also wired to that battery. This is just an independent battery for my starter, the electric start on the pressure washer. I have another small Noco charger for that I actually just, I keep in the drawer, and I plug it in here when I want to use it, and I just click the alligator clips on, and it, you know, I don't need to be charging that every day. This toolbox I bought at Home Depot. It was on sale. It was 350 bucks, I believe. I liked that it came with the surge, the built-in outlets. It's got USB. That's how I charge everything. That's what that extension cord is laying on top of everything that I was saying I gotta hang up. But yeah, I had this vise. I put this on here. I figured for holding fittings, whatever, it makes my life a lot easier than trying to work with 2 wrenches like a jerk off. Picked those up at Harbor Freight. Just for whatever. They're just double-sided taped there, so they don't slide around. That's just some stuff I gotta return to Granger. Keep my cones in here in case I need them on the side of the road. Got my hour meter for the machine so that I can, you know, track all my maintenance. I picked these up for like, there's like 9 million stickers for about $5 on Amazon, so I just ordered a roll of them. Obviously it's hours, not miles, but I don't see that being an issue because I don't think I'm going to be coming in here thinking it's the oil change for my pickup truck, right? I think that's about it. The trailer itself, I actually bought off my father for next to nothing. It's far from a perfect trailer, as you can see. But for these purposes, it's all right. This is the drain that I was saying this way I can kind of drain it I don't have to sit there and let the whole tank drain. I'll usually let it go for a minute, and then I'll just kind of take off driving and let the rest drain as I drive. I mock my open and close because I'm a little shock quad sometimes, and I've broken them before. Just like sometimes they stick, so you know, like if it's stuck and you're getting resistance, you might end up going the wrong way. So I just do that way I know. See how it was a little stuck there? Oh, still a little water in there. But yeah, I gotta get some more fittings just to wrap up that soft wash thing. And that's really it, guys. This thing's gonna make a lot of money. I can already see how quick I went today, that it's definitely a time saver. So I think I'm gonna just have it wrapped, the outer of the trailer just wrapped white and leaded. And that's it. Let me know what you guys think.